Welcome to episode 3 of Thoughts and Rhythm. It's been maybe about probably over a month since I did episode 2. But I knew that episode 3 was going to be very, very different because, I knew that the distance in between 2 and 3 was going to be pretty distant. Once I posted episode 2, right? Because I had some downloads about it, and they were basically just talking about the growth that I had to go through before making this episode, because so much is going to come from this. And yeah, so here it is. I've actually been in so many places since episode 2 that I don't even know where to begin. I just know I'm very blissful at this time. I feel very connected, very loved, right? Very joyful, very grateful, and loved and supported at this time. I'm gonna take you back. Was it September? No, it was actually beginning of October. Literally like the first week of October, I went on kind of like an alkaline diet for how many days was it? I think it was about 4 days. And it was for not a ritual. It was for a I don't know how to word it. It's not a ritual, but it was for a I'm just gonna say for a transformation, right? I needed to do that and practice breath work, practice Reiki meditation, learn about Reiki, do the breath work, don't eat certain foods, consume this, right? Breathe this way, journal, reflect, and things like that. Continue to ground. So that's all I focused on during those 4 days. I didn't care about the external world outside of me for those 4 days. Like, no one mattered, right? But towards the end of it, like the last 2 days, I started to notice that I was very, 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 very exhausted physically. And it was show because my mom asked me, she was like, Tita, you need to go to sleep. Like, you look really sick. Something's wrong. And I'm like, she was like, are you pregnant? I'm like, why would I be pregnant? And she's like, I can see your eyes are really like deep and you just look tired and stuff. And I'm like, Mom, I'm all right. But she keep thinking I was pregnant because I looked that drained. and long story short, that process, that whole 4 days, and was for me to transform into a new me, because my my last self, right, needed to transcend darkness. And that self of me was basically all of the past selves, my past hurt selves, like the ones that were in trauma, the ones that were really sad, depressed, the ones that were not optimistic at all. And I literally just basically killed that version of me. But it's not like killed her because she didn't die per se. It was more like when darkness become light. So I don't know if y'all watch Solo Leveling, but when he defeats his enemies, they become a part of him and he can use them at will. So that's basically what she became. But it was so painful, especially the last hour. We're the last night of it. I felt like my skin hurt to the touch. I was in so much pain. I was shallow breathing. I had zero energy. I remember I was driving home from a friend's house and my body was like shutting down, like literally it was shutting down, and I felt it. And I remember talking to my past, to that self, that version of me, and she was begging me to exist, right? And that she didn't want to die. And I told her that she wasn't dying, she's becoming anew. She's transforming and ascending and becoming better, so that instead of her being a burden, she'll become my ally, basically an aid, right? It will help uplift me even higher and further, and she will no longer feel what she feels. So after that, she was ready to let go, and then we let go. But that happened in October, like that, literally the first week of October. So that was the first thing. But remember, I was reading Outwitting the Devil at that time a lot, and I was also reading what's it called, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. But both of those books were by Napoleon Hill. But I was very just devoted. Like, I was very, very invested into my development and my growth, right? And so I was just locked in during that time. I was reading, I was writing, I was meditating, I was doing my breath work, I was practicing grounding. My thoughts were fluid. Like, I had no negative thoughts the entire time, like not even one. Usually I get about 2 a day, but during that I had nothing. I was just lifted. And I felt like I was being like just guided and directed into one location. And I feel like that's why I had such a smooth process, although it was painful in the end. But it was just smooth. Like, I was very understanding. I was very aware that was taking place. Even that opening, like that first night and the last night were the most like impactful. That first night I kind of forgot that it was already that time, because it was already like 12 in the morning, which technically was the first day of the ceremony. I'm calling it ceremony. And what happened? What was I saying? Yeah, that was the first day, but I didn't know until like I woke up that following morning. And I'm like, oh shoot, it started last night. And I was like, no wonder what all this happened last night. Like, I had full circle moments. I don't even know how to put it in words. Like, a lot of stuff that happens to me, like a lot of things that I experience are difficult to put into what's it called? I guess perspective. But I have been learning so much. I'm gonna tell you about this channel that I found. It's called The Master of Earth. This guy was making videos 11 years ago, and it was like he making enlightened content. He only has 56 videos on his channel. But if you get to watch even just 5 minutes of his video, you're gonna know like this man literally is not from here. Yesterday he was talking about he was talking about dimensions and the human body and the functions of our bodies. And he was talking about, people think like the brain is the one up here, but that's not true, because this brain is kind of useless because it's it has ego, right? And ego is kind of like fucking up humans, he said. So basically, the true brain is your intestines. And he said the intestines are the major processor of energy. And then after it processes, it goes up to the heart organ, and the heart then breaks down what the intestine gave him, and then it transmuted into frequency, which determines what dimension you're going to be on, basically. That's what he was saying. But I love his channel because it's so... I would have never found his channel back then. And even if I did, I wouldn't understand nothing he said. I wouldn't be able to relate. I was telling myself that yesterday, but I wouldn't be able to relate at the time because I didn't know nothing of nothing. I was probably like, oh, it was like 12 years ago. I was probably maybe 12. Yeah, maybe. 12 to 14. I was 13, I think. I was 13. So I didn't know. But right now, I'm glad because I get to understand, overstand everything he says. And I can connect it with my own experiences and make sense of things that I was once confused about or had no knowledge of. But it got so cold here. And like literally not overnight, but like since Thanksgiving night, it's been cold. And it's never this cold. At least the last 2 years, it wasn't cold at this time. But the moon is out early today. She's literally right here. I work on my connection every single day because it's literally, I set the tone of my days for so long doing the same routine. Like I wake up, I go outside barefooted, and I stand, lay, I don't sit, stretch, breathe, and move, do yoga, all that in my front yard every morning. It doesn't matter if it's cold outside, if it's raining outside. Like I do it every morning faithfully. And that became part of who I am. Like I cannot function. You know how people can't function without coffee, can't function without a cigarette. I cannot function if I don't start my day with my feet in some grass. Because that's just how it flows. I set the tone. I choose what I want, where I want to be at today and stuff like that. And it also prepares my mind in case I encounter any any issues with anyone, altercations, I'll be able to just, instead of reacting, I would actually like understand the situation. So it just calms my spirit and my mind early in the day, which helps me throughout the entire day. So I feel like that's why I'm always so blissful, so excited, so grateful, and always in flow state. I've been in flow state for a while now, and being in flow state is it's a beautiful and free thing to do and choose for yourself, but it's also it really, like, what's the word, it tests you, right? Flow state tests you, tests how deep are you connected. It tests how well can you follow directions, type of thing, right? And it's like, do you trust yourself or do you not? Do you trust us or do you not? Do you believe in yourself or do you not? It's like it has you questioning things that you thought you had the answer to. It's like, well, if you really do, if you trust your own intuition, then do what you feel, right? Because it's not like, oh, we're telling you do this, do that. It's more of a do what you feel type of thing. Do what you feel. Do what you truly desire. Do what you feel inclined to do. What you feel called to do. Do it. And that's intuition. That's like flow. Do you want to be free or do you not? Do you want to live a blissful life or do you not? Do you want to show up for yourself or do you not? Choose. You can choose. So choose. So I love that about existence, about this journey. Crazy thing about it is no matter how many videos I would have watched, No one in this entire earth could teach me connection. No one could have taught me how to find the universe. No one could have taught me how to connect, because everyone has different experiences. Therefore, everyone has different experiences. Therefore, everyone is going to find source differently based on who they are, what they do, where they've been, what they're living, how they think, how they feel. So I feel like a lot of people come on social media and talk about religion, talk about God and stuff like that, and they try to tell you the like it, as if there's rules on how to connect to God. They'll tell you have to do this. If you don't do this, if you do this, then you're not with God. If you do this, then you're not connected. If you do this, you're sinning. Like there's no rule on how to connect with source. It's literally you doing what you love, you doing what feels good to you, you being aware of yourself, you knowing who you are, you seeking and finding, and you showing up, you being determined, you being mindful, you watching what you say, you choosing better qualities in people, in life, in what you eat, what you drink, and how you move your body, and how you take care of yourself. Now it's like you're upgraded. So you have to choose to be the better version. You have to choose to be the aware one, to be the free one, to be the one that doesn't care about the hearsay, to be the one to know when something is beneath, it's in a lower dimension than you are, therefore you don't pay it mind. You have to learn to ignore what doesn't fit with you. Following yourself, trusting yourself, doing what you feel, what you desire. Now, when I'm saying feel, I'm not saying emotionally. One thing is to be emotional, and one thing is to feel. Although they're somewhat connected, but they're not the same thing. So I'm talking about feeling, not emotions, not sadness, not anger. No, I'm talking about feeling. Feelings, like love is a feeling, not an emotion. Go with what you feel. Go to what has truth. Truth makes you feel something because it has power. Now, lies and what's it called? Falsehood. That's what I was looking for. Truth has power, so you feel something about it. And then falsehood has no power. It doesn't give you any kind of stimulation. So you have to grow that discernment within yourself. That way you can know. You can know before people speak. You can feel before they even approach you. This thing's heightened when you are in between subdimensions, leveling up from 0.1 to 0.2, not 0.1, 5.1 to 5.2, and so forth. Subdimensions. I learned about subdimensions yesterday, and I was so mind blown. It was actually after watching one of the videos from the channel I said earlier about the Master of Earth. There's so many dimensions. I thought it was only like maybe like 10, 20, but it's literally over 300. We're only at 3. You know how low that is? Oh, I learned that the lower the dimension, the slower the pace, the lower the higher the frequency. So sometimes just because we're both seeing each other like face to face, don't mean we're in the same dimension. Because let's like turn the feelings like, okay, how do I say this? That makes sense. How you feel, what your heart feels, determines what dimension you're gonna be at. Feelings of the third dimension are jealousy, shame. Those are 2 examples. And let's say fifth dimension. If you're always and just joy and peace. Those are feelings of the fifth dimension. So, but if you are always there, if you know how to maintain those feelings, then you can quickly, literally, just move through subdimensions into reaching the major one. Just repeat it. But you can go back to like a lower dimension if you indulge in like chaos and drama. But the thing I say, like, it's not like you're gonna forget about the fifth dimension because you've been there. You know what I mean? But it's more of a, you're temporarily there. Now you gotta race. You have to move yourself through the subdimensions again. Like start from where you are, and build yourself back up. You know how to do it already. You've been there. Once you learn something, once you move through subdimensions, you cannot forget that you did that. It's kind of like, you know how to ride a bike. You learned it once. Even if you don't ride bikes in 5-10 years, you still know how to ride a bike when you get on one. You know the functions, you know how to sit, you know how to grab it, you know how to pedal. You know the whole idea of the bike. Like, you cannot forget something you already learned, seen, and experienced. Sometimes they do hide in your subconscious mind, but it's still there. You didn't forget it. It didn't just disappear. It still exists somewhere. If you know better, then do better. Don't be foolish. Don't be ignorant. Don't live your life in ignorance. If you know something is harming you, then fix it, right? Don't continue to live the life you're living using what's harming you just because you're choosing to stay at a low dimension. You're choosing to stay dense. If you know better, do better. It's a lot of people that be like, man, I know I shouldn't do this, or I know this, but I still do. I'm gonna get it right one day. Just do it. It's not that hard. Make the change. Oh, and there's no such thing as karma. I know a lot of people think karma comes around and do blah, blah, blah. Like, people had it all and lost it all. But they think that's karma. No. The universe is literally ever changing. The universe manifests and unmanifests itself all of the time. So you having it all and losing it all, that's just a manifestation and an unmanifestation taking place. Every day come, because this is it's a new manifestation, it's a new life, it's a new place. That's why even if you try to relive yesterday to the T, it still wouldn't happen the exact same. Because this is literally a different place. This is a new manifestation. This is not the last one. The last one doesn't exist. Yesterday basically doesn't exist. Tomorrow doesn't exist. The moment is now. This is what people need to live in the present, in the moment. Merge with the present. You kill yourself, your vessel, quicker by living in our. You are speeding the process of aging, or you engaging in the program of aging. Hi, I'm doing good. I have not been reading these comments. I apologize. I've been so into my conversation. But I'm gonna go because it's really, really cold. But I appreciate you guys for coming and witnessing me existing once more. And this is my podcast. If you're new here, this is my podcast called Thoughts and Rhythm, and I do my podcast live. So just remember to stay present, merge with the present, release the thoughts of ego, release burden, right? Release the need to want to relive a past experience, right? And the urge to live in the future. You're making things linear when you do that. Just live. Show up every day and just live. Just be, exist, right? To your full capacity. Don't limit yourself. You want to do this, do it. You want to go here, go. You want to treat yourself, do it. You want to post a pic, do it. You want to read a book, do it. You want to write, do it. You want to color, you want to paint, you want to listen to music, you want to just chill, do it. You want to rest, do it. Earn flow state. Flow state is the biggest reward, and it's a superpower because it's so easy to get distracted in our reality, right? In this timeline, so many distractions. So if you get to be in a flow state and find stillness, even in the chaos, even in the storms, even in the distractions, you can stay focused in the distractions, you're rewarded for sure, because it's rare that there's someone in flow state. It's like one in a million, truly. So it's not a lot. But a good 100,000 people are in flow state out of the entire human population. There's billions of us. There's only about 100,000 that are truly connected and in flow state. So the reward is infinite because it's supposed to be room for, let's say, 8 billion people, right? This money was supposed to be split in between 8 billion people. But if only 100,000 showed up, you know how much money each person's gonna get? The abundance of others becomes yours. They reject their own abundance. They give it away. I'll take it. Thank you. But good night. Have a great day. See y'all on my next one.